have right now a lot of well-meaning individuals who are seeing the oppression that's been happening to the Black community in the United States. How do they engage? Where should they start engaging the Black leadership, Islamic leadership of America, specifically in this case? And please don't be shy. We're looking for guidance in this regard.
Okay, so attach yourselves to those African Americans, Black people, men and women, who are not only engaged with the issues on the ground and are connected to the Black community in general, but also have Sanad, who've also studied this deen, who also have a foundation, right, in our usul, right? So just knowing about the political matters and what's going on, that's simply not enough, right? And if I can paint a picture for you, truth is unified, but there are different ranks or different darajat, right? So let's say if we're talking about a tree has roots, so we can say usul. And then a tree also has furu, which has branches. And the branches are very important, but the branches are more dependent on the roots than the roots are dependent on the branches, right? So having knowledge about things such as political issues or having studied critical theory or critical race theory, that as a tool of analysis, that's all fine and well. But what's more important than that for the starting point is having a sound usul and sound epistemology. Again, Sidi Ahmed al-Zuruq said, it is impermissible for anyone to proceed in a matter until they know the ruling of Allah pertaining to it, right? So this is the start. And when we're talking about reaching out to certain Black American leaders who are Muslim, it's just beyond those who kept up with the issues of race politics, right? So I'm just going to simply point out some people and call out some names of some individuals who I think that you should be connected to, because there's various people. There's in the Atlanta area, there's Imam Suleiman Hamid in Atlanta, who is the resident Imam of the Atlanta Masjid of Al-Islam. He's a graduate of Jamia Abi Noor in Damascus, right? There's Sheikh Amin Mohammed in Atlantic City, right? We have Sheikh Mohammed Mendez. We have Ustad Aisha Prime, right? We have Ustad Zainab Ansari in Knoxville, Tennessee at Taysir Seminary, right? We have Imam Jihad Safir with Islah LA, right? So there's a number of different people. Ustad Shahida Sharif that's down in Atlanta as well. There's a number of people that you can reach out to nationally, but even you can find in your locality who both have studied this tradition and have connection back to our tradition through chains of transmission, but also have their pulse on what's going on in Black America and know the sentiments of what people are feeling on the ground. Both of those are very important because we don't want connection to the tradition and also have aloofness to what's going on to Black people in the streets. And at the same time, just knowing about the political issues and all of the activist language about intersectionality and all these things, without having the usul and the connections, then that's also highly problematic, maybe even more problematic than the other thing that I mentioned.
But Imam, I would have to ask you a question. I mean, from your take on it in the United States of America particularly, there was a point in which it was, people turning to scholarship. And then all of a sudden it became the shift and everyone's turning to activists who, have no scholarship. They're not founded, many of them, in these Islamic principles that we're talking about. Happen to be Muslim, of course. What happened there? And why do you think that shift started happening?
I think that, just from my take, and Allah knows best, but I think part of the problem is that, one, there weren't solid connections established between scholars and du'at with activists, and also a means of having a type of program set up to actually train activists in the Islamic sciences and having murabbiyin, or having spiritual guides and people to help with tarbiyah, along with them learning different organizing strategies, whether it's Salalinsky or whatever type of organizing strategies. I think that's a problem. But I think also too that just being frank, that a number of people who are scholars in the United States of America, and again, I believe all of these things were innocent mistakes. We need to learn from our mistakes, right? Did not give guidance and did not speak on many of the socio-political issues that were going on here in America. And therefore, many of the young people and the activists saw that the scholars were not relevant. They weren't speaking to many of the things on the ground and giving guidance. So therefore, there was a void. So who they saw speaking to it were the activist community, and many of them obviously who are not Muslims. And even the Muslims who are speaking to it don't have traditional grounding in with Asanid and going back to, you know, a chain of transmission and things such as this. So I think there's a problem, but alhamdulillah, the beautiful thing about it is that we live in a time and an opportunity where we have the capacity to address these things. We have platforms and we have means in which we can ground people in the tradition, and also be able to address the real grievances and the real pain that our people see the people in America suffering, be they Muslim or be they not Muslim.
To listen to the full episode, please visit Imanwire.com.